of you know what it's like to wake up in the morning and not know what the day has in store? Or not have the opportunity to take a shower and brush your teeth because you have no access to clean water? What about going to bed starving because you have not eaten in 4 days? I know these questions are extreme, but it's a complete reality to the people living in poverty. Poverty has something that has touched my heart in the past decade. It is so upsetting seeing people who are struggling to survive day by day because they don't have the things to survive with. It's also upsetting to see people who are more fortunate and have all the resources they could do to help people. Instead, they live their own lives. How easy is it for us to take things for granted because we see our needs being met day after day? As a Christian and as a person who's witnessed extreme poverty, I know about the lifestyle, how they got there, and God wants us to serve these people in need. My goal here is to inform you of the problems of poverty, the causes of it, and as Christians we need to step up and restore these people living in these extreme conditions. People in poverty lack basic necessities to survive. One is water. According to Adnan Shah, who wrote for GlobalIssues.org, states water problems affect half of humanity. 1.1 billion people have inadequate access to clean water. That's 1/6 of our world today. How easy is it for us to go to our refrigerator and get a fresh, clean glass of water at any time we want to do it? The next problem is healthcare. According to Adnan Shah, who wrote for GlobalIssues.org, states that 2.2 million children die each year because they are not immunized. That's something, this doesn't just happen in third world countries, it's happening in the US today. Healthcare is not cheap, and we need to step up and help. Now you're wondering what causes poverty. According to Rob Van Agen, a Liberty University professor who wrote Applying a Biblical Worldview, states that there's no single factor that gains universal acceptance. The thing is, there's multiple reasons why there's poverty out there. And I have two that I want to list for you. One is overpopulation. Imagine 20 people living in the same house together. They have no room to do much of anything. We'll take that and put that on the macro scale. Countries such as India and China are struggling with this every single year. They don't have the necessities, the basic necessities, to support the mass amount of people. Another factor that's come across to me while I was watching Black Hawk Down is political corruption. How easy is it for a dictator to take everything that he needs for himself and not help his own people out? As we know in the Bible, it says one sin can harm multiple people. Well, in this case, it's harming millions and millions of people. According to the Somali, George Bianetti, who wrote The Somali Crisis, Time for an African Solution, states, Somalia's societal breakdown and the famine that accompanied it were results of political and economic problems common to most sub-Saharan African countries. Now, this is the point I want to stretch out to you is, as Christians, we need to step up and restore poverty. I know it's a big task for a small amount of people to do, but this is what God values. There's 2 points why we should do this. One, God is concerned for the poor. And as I got here, Psalm 113:7 says, He raised the poor from the dust and lifts the needy from the ash heap. God is concerned for the poor. He loves humans. He created them. He wants us to treat others as we treat ourselves. The second point I want to drive to you is God values human life and compassion for others. James 4:17 says, Anyone then who knows good he ought to do and doesn't do it sins. There's a lot of work that needs to be done out in these nations, and we can do it here in America. So now you're thinking, what can we do to help with this issue? Well, there's countless ways. You can volunteer at a local food bank. I mean, there's places all across, even in this community, that needs people to serve people who are less fortunate than us. Or you can simply donate money to an organization that dedicates their hard work to help restoring these nations. Angel and I have done it and we sponsor Miguel Angel Vasquez, who lives in Peru. We simply pay $38 a month, and this organization gives him the basic necessities to live. Anyone can do that. Or simply, if you don't have the time or the money, you can simply pray. God listens to all prayers, and He answers them. As a conclusion, I want to state something that's happened in my life. I served when I was 15 in Slovakia. This is a nation or a country in poverty due to communism. What is done was horrific to this nation. We simply built a playground for the kids there, and we loved them and we served them. But the things I saw really touched my heart. I saw houses that were broken down. They all looked the same. The kids were wearing the same clothes. I mean, they were hungry a lot. I mean, they didn't have energy to do things. What we did is we stepped up and we served these kids. We gave them food to eat. We gave them love. We played basketball with them. We just shared how great God is with them. These are the things that we can do as people. The main point here is that we need to restore these countries that desperately need our help. Jesus Christ set the example for us that we need to set for others. As a Christian, I believe we need to serve these people. We need to stand up and bring physical, spiritual, and moral support to these people that are in desperate need. So the question is, are we going to stand here, sit here, and continue to live the way we want to live, or are we going to help these people in desperate need? God bless.